I'm inspired by the level of vulnerability that he shared, the depth of some of his experiences that one would probably not be proud of and would tend to hide, but to see somebody go from this dark and just own it, but like matter of factly, this is just what it was. I'm from a war-stricken area, you know, all the bad things that I've chosen to do, and the places in my life where my life should have ended. And then to just say, to turn this around and being able to really flip your life around. Not just situational, but also his health. Very inspirational. It brings so much hope that if he can conquer these physical things with just the power of the mind, it's a testimonial that I have quite a bit of similar issue with my body. And so to see him recover from that and more, it gives us hope. There's a level of kindness, but also toughness and confidence that is great to be able to project off of someone. And so I'm very grateful also that he's chosen the Philippines to do that, to have been able to kind of negotiate some of the terms to make it a bit more accessible for people like me. And just the kindness of extending this beyond the last couple of days. And I really feel it's genuine. He's done all the hard work for us so that he can give us a crash course. And this was a perfect introductory for the Bali one. I think this is a perfect way to kind of get a taste of it before going to the very intimidating. But I mean, there's absolutely nobody that I can think of that would not benefit from this. Nobody. I know people will say it's not for me. Why would you do this to yourself? Okay, you're not ready today. But when you are, this will be life-changing, absolutely. And you will absolutely gain so much more than you lose, 100,000%.
I want you to use your willpower, and I want you to see your daughter behind that limit. And I want you to see a new life behind that limit you give yourself. I want you to see a happy life behind that.
I can.
Yes.
I will.
Yes.
I am.
Let's go. Let's go. Just jump. Come on.
Like I said earlier, we all come from different places. You know, we have a Phil-Am, Cebuana, Swedish, Dutch, but we all have experiences that initially sound different, but we all kind of went through the same things. And everyone out there will have similar stories. We all have our traumas, we all have our pain, we all have our fears, we all have our anger. And this is just such a universal language. And I'm very grateful for Ellen and Dee that they have brought the awareness out in the open with their own free will. And everyone else who is involved is coming here with a pure heart. And that's very evident. Very evident that everyone who is here is really passionate about finding that harmony, sharing that harmony. And so I'm grateful that this is out at the open. I'm actually a little bit almost disappointed that this is not part of culture, basic society, basic education. Because if only children would be able to balance all this, we could eradicate so many problems, so many traumas, so many mental health issues, so many physical health issues. Why are we band-aiding the problem later in life? Why are we not there at the onset? And so hopefully by doing this and kind of reminding people, it's really just a reminder, actually not so much awareness, it's reminding people who we are to the core and how to utilize your own strength. The power of the mind is something that we've all forgotten. You know, the mind is so insanely powerful, and your inner dialogue, your default dialogue, changes the course of your life. It changes your physical growth. It changes your ability to heal or not heal, or get sick. So I think I've also realized that a lot of my physical ailments, I have a lot of back problems, I have a lot of eye problems. And I'm starting to believe, based on my own story and my own experiences, that a lot of it is manifested through thoughts and emotions. I didn't get into an accident, but once I surrendered and I accepted the things that happened to me, that's when all the physical ailments came out. And I think it was a way of saying, oh, finally, all that stress has been in there and it's now manifest, or it's being released physically. And so it's done a lot of harm, and now I have to fix it. So I went to several doctors, and I believe you, but is this the only way? Is it the best way? And now, I couldn't even stretch without hurting myself. And here I am, stretching every morning without pain. I was terrified the first 2 days that I was going to hurt myself again and be out of order for 2 weeks. And yet, here I'm sitting, sore but not in pain, and being able to do things like doing the whole route by doing, what was it, like squats, like lunges. I would have never believed that I could do that without disabling myself again. And yet I was able to do that. And now I have the courage to do this, continue this every morning. And waking up at 5 is probably the biggest challenge because I'm such a night person. But I woke up at 4:50 this morning, 10 minutes before my alarm. And I never loved sunrise until I sat there. And when you start the meditation, it's dark. And when you're done with the meditation, you open your eyes and you see a whole new image. And it was beautiful. The birds are, I feel like a lot of bugs and birds are coming towards me today for some reason. Or maybe they can feel.
Listen, in life, the emotion of pain is the same. The emotion of suffering is the same. It's just a different event. But the emotions are always the same. How do we practice? That's why we call it Kaminokin, the principle of life. Because this training is a reflection of life. The emotion of fear is the same. But in life, mostly we can't train that because it comes all of a sudden. Here we prepare for life.
It's a good sign. What expectations did I have coming in? Definitely to find more balance, to kind of learn a little bit more about meditation. I had done it through like YouTube and stuff, but never with other people or with somebody guiding in person. And kind of get my butt kicked a little bit. I had a major back surgery 2 years ago. It was very sudden. As in, I was walking through the mall and 5 minutes later, I'm in the hospital, and the next day I have major surgery on my L3 down to S4. So it was very intense, and one thing I didn't expect from a physical surgery is the mental impact it had on me. I've always been very athletic. I'm fairly strong-willed. Some people may beg to differ and say I'm extremely strong-willed and very outspoken, being Eurasian and all. So that kind of took me aback. Like, what is this and how do I deal with this? Because now I don't feel like myself anymore. So in the beginning, not working out was justified because I was healing, and then it became an excuse. It became a crutch. And then every time I would try to do it somewhat against my will, I would try to do it and I would just not be able to walk for a week. And I'm like, this isn't working. So I actually looked into a retreat for Bali because my daughter had also asked for a retreat for about a year or so. And it was a bit intimidating at first because Bali, and then it's so long, and then it's so far, and it so many factors that kind of made me very doubtful. And I just so happened to stumble upon the fact that it was going to come here, shorter time, less intimidating, Dee is gonna be involved, who is an old friend of mine. So I actually sent him a message, said, can you tell me a little bit more about it? So he already briefed me on what to expect. And it's exactly what I was looking for. Something that would help me physically, mentally, and spiritually. I think because I've already been on a spiritual journey, I've been in touch with all the elements, but they were off balance. So this is not foreign to me. What I did realize though is it's really going back to basics. You know, we as humans, we've evolved so much through technology, consumerism and stuff like that. And so to go back to this and to just go back to human nature. You know, we have people from every country in the world that can relate to this. Whatever religion you're from, you can all come together, and this is where people unite as humans, right? It doesn't matter what color you are, how much money you have in the bank, or what your background is, how much trauma you have. This is where we all find our core system, our core meaning, our core, just the nature of who we are as people. And to put these three elements together, physical, mental, and spiritual. Religion aside, right? You can do this if you're very religious in a specific area, or you can do this if you're not religious at all. We all have our spirit. And so to know these things, to be aware of these things is one thing, but to sit here and connect them through the exercises was like kind of like a really subtle aha moment. But I knew it was coming, but when it came, it was just really good. You really feel like, okay, now it's connected and it's all making sense. So like I said, I've been an athlete, very outspoken, very spiritual, but they always seem to be a little bit misaligned here and there when things happen. And so here you're learning that when they are misaligned, the other two can reel you back in. Your health is not in good shape. Your spiritual and your mental state can heal your body physically, and vice versa. I think I've not learned new things. I've been familiar with the concepts because I've done a lot of work. But it was kind of like, I learned this here and this time, during this time, and I learned this here during that time. And now I'm confronted with them all together. And not just to put them together, which I knew, I just didn't know how. So now to be able to actually have a really clear picture of how to do it simultaneously and with harmony. I think harmony was the big word yesterday. Having more clarity on how to do it, how to make it function together as a unit, and not just within myself, but also together with other people who are as open